Hello, cannedcream here, CC for short, and today I would like to talk to you about crossovers. Or, to be exact, why MLP crossovers are so popular and plentiful. There's something deeply entertaining and satisfying about taking two popular franchises and smooshing them together into one. While popular in fan fictions, this idea has crossed over into other media, such as video games, TV, comic books, and even movies. No matter what your entertainment choice is, clearly the idea of combining two universes, no matter how ill-fit, is all too compelling to ignore. So what is it about MLP specifically that makes it such a tempting target? Well, to answer that question, we first need to answer this one. What makes a good crossover? There are quite a few ways to respond to that, and all would be correct. It's important to first ask what kind of crossover story you're wanting to tell. If comedy is your main concern, then almost any combination works. Actually, the more ill-fitting, the better. But if you mean to go for something more serious in tone, then there needs to be a reason why these two universes are touching each other. If not directly, as in the characters from one world visiting the other, then in why their themes are overlapping. For the most part, this is much harder to do, because now you, as the author, are tasked with explaining why this is happening. If you're going to write your epic Buffy, Firefly, dramatic crossover script, then you're tasked with explaining why and how vampires are taking over the Serenity. So with that said, we come back around to MLP, and the reason MLP crossovers are pretty easy to do. It's because it is a world of magic over technology. Let me explain. When it comes to technology, a real-life force that drives the world we live in, we as a collective whole expect some level of explanation on how it works. That's why even the most fantastic of gadgets, such as the Doctor's phone box, Doc Brown's DeLorean, or the MIB neural neutralizer, get some level of explanation, even if only briefly and in passing. And half the time these answers aren't even really logical, they're just meaningless scientific sounding words, but we accept that as good enough. However, that same expectation is not carried over for magic. Magic, by its very nature, is supposed to be fantastic and beyond our understanding. We don't question or demand an explanation of how that works. Well, I mean, I do, but that's probably why I'm the one sitting here agonizing over a cartoon horse show every week, and you're the one out there living a life. Anyway, because Equestria is a land where magic is such a dominant force, to such a degree that simple emotions like friendship and love can manifest into actual physical power, magic instantly becomes the go-to explanation for why any level of crossover occurs. Now, granted, some explanation to exactly how and why it occurred is still appreciated. The necessity for it, however, is just lower. But this is just one half of the setting. The other half of the picture falls to the characters of MLP and its wide variety of secondary and background ponies, all of which have the framework of personalities, or talents, or lives, without any big details. This allows fans to take them and mold them to fit perfectly into whatever setting they're creating. What helps even more is the development of our main cast, and how each character represents a different archetype. Now, keep in mind that an archetype is vastly different from a stereotype. The first means the basic framework of a character from which you then expand and develop upon. Even the most complex of characters can eventually be broken down into a single archetype. By contrast, a stereotype is having that base character and then just stopping there. By this means, creators can also take these well-developed characters and have them mix with the problems, worlds, characters, and forces that go far beyond MLP. And it can be done in such a way that our main cast can still feel like our main cast. And finally, this is actually a minor note, but one I feel is still worth mentioning. Friendship is Magic has been a world of references since Season 1. Half the fun of watching the show is spotting them all. So when you present the possibility that Harry Potter or BioShock or Fargo can exist within this world, you're all but inviting the viewer to take those ideas and run wild with them. Honestly, if the success of certain crossover projects is anything to go by, bronies are more than willing to step up and take that challenge. But what do you think, dear listener? Why do you think MLP is such a ripe breeding ground for crossovers? And what crossover has been your personal favorite? Whatever your thoughts, please post them down in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and as always,
stay pony, my friends.